Welcome in, guys. It's Brad with College SportsCast. We are here to do another weekly episode of Wildcat Weekly. Got a bunch of big blue topics to talk about.
Thank you for tuning in to College SportsCast. College SportsCast presents Wildcat Weekly.
Welcome in, guys. It is Brad with College SportsCast. I've got John Hammonds on here with me tonight. What's up, Hammonds?
What's up, man?
So we are here to do, I want to say, like our 6th or 7th episode of Wildcat Weekly. I'm losing track. This is week 10 of college football, and basketball has started up. We have a big game to get to in the exhibition season for men's that happened on last Friday night. We're going to get to that. But before we do, I always start with our Facebook stuff. I've got a couple of things here to go through. If you are on Facebook with us, man, we greatly appreciate you. Facebook has been growing tremendously lately and doing a lot of cool stuff. So you can support us, help support us by sending stars, or you can subscribe for just 99 cents a month. And right now, I have a flash sale going on. The first 5 subscribers before November the 23rd gets it for half price. So you're getting a deal for 49 cents for the first month to subscribe. We have a brand new chat. I'm putting the show events in the chat. I'm putting a little bit of insider info. We have just a chat in there where we have a little bit of fun on game days. So check us out. The first 5 are 49 cents for the first month. All right. With that said, if you are on YouTube with us, man, we are trying to grow YouTube as well. We appreciate you on YouTube as well. We are up to pushing 730 subscribers on YouTube. So we're keep trying to push and get there. Like, share, comment, help us get there. We appreciate you on YouTube as well. All right, John, this is Wildcat Weekly. So at the top of the screen here on the left-hand side, you're going to see a QR code pop up. That QR code is for Home Field Apparel. That is our College SportsCast QR code at the top. If you scan that code at the top of this screen, you can go check out some really cool retro Kentucky gear. This is a licensed collegiate vintage company. They have mascots and logos that are retro vintage. They have really cool throwback shirts and jerseys, bomber jackets, hats, you name it, they have it. Go check them out. Home Field Apparel. Look up SEC, scroll down, find Kentucky. If you're a Kentucky fan, you will not want to miss the really cool gear that Home Field Apparel has. And you can also help us by scanning the code or using our code CSCast at checkout. I'm going to leave that up on the screen while we talk tonight and while the show is going on. But just one last time, welcome in. This is College SportsCast Wildcat Weekly. And John, the first thing we're going to get to, man, is I've got the background there for us. That is actually Big Blue Madness, but that is Rupp Arena. And on Friday night, Rupp Arena filled up again for an exhibition game against the number 1 team in the country. And I also want to mention that UK put out a hype video for that game that I was featured in. It was super cool.
Yeah, it was super cool.
I got to give a big shout out to the production team at University of Kentucky. They do an excellent job. If you guys have ever seen the Journey videos and the hype videos they put out some really cool stuff. I had a question from Birmingham that was featured in the hype video on Friday night for this Purdue game. But John, we'll get to the game now. Just want to, point out that Purdue is the consensus number one team in the country. They have been pretty much all preseason. All the media guys, everybody thinks that Purdue has the best team coming back. And Kentucky handled them pretty well on Friday night.
Yeah, I mean, to me, I feel like if you watch that game Friday night, you had to come away thinking Kentucky might be better. They might be top 3 better. Now, could that be an overreaction? Maybe. I think it was 2 years ago, Purdue lost to Arkansas and ended up one probably the best teams in college basketball, while Arkansas did not make the tournament. So, I mean, basically you have to take some of these exhibition games with a grain of salt. But if you look at it team by team, Kentucky's defense is better, I think. Their defense on the perimeter, their length, their athleticism is so much better than a year ago. I just want to kind of say about Jasper Johnson real quick while we get into this. Jasper is playing, everybody thought, well, he didn't look great in some of these all-star games, some of these scrimmages in the summer. But I told people even in the summer, I said, this kid is probably going to be your best player coming off the bench, probably next to Denzel Aberdeen. It was just an impressive performance. Marino played good. He moves well for his size. He's kind of taking up the slack, him and Brandon, for Jaden Quaintance while he's getting a rehab on his ACL. I want to tell you something, Brad.
With that said, John, so just a couple of things. So Jalen Lowe did not play in this game. He was out. And because of the shoulder that happened in the blue-white game. And then, of course, Jaden Quaintance is still out with his knee, and he did not play. And Otega Owe only played 17 minutes. He's not back full go either. He only played 17 minutes in this game. And Kentucky still handled this Purdue number one team pretty easily. I mean, they led anywhere from 8 to 12 just about all night long, it seemed like.
I've said, I even said it Friday night. If this team goes to their bench and there's really not a big drop-off in points and not production, they're going to be impossible to beat this year, Brad, just with the talent level. 12 deep, 13 deep. I'm not so sure. I don't know. Everybody hates this word, but Calipari had it on his 15 team, the platoon. Does he throw a platoon out there? One team comes out first, the second team comes.
Well, having said that, John, the other night in this game, there was 10 players that played 15 minutes plus. 10 players. And there was like 3 or 4 of them out with a couple of sickness. Reese Potter was out. I heard that Braylon Hawthorne was probably under the weather and sick as well. So, there was 3 or 4 players out. You're talking about platooning. They played 10 guys, 15 plus minutes.
Yeah, and then you add in Mo Diabate, who is a specimen for a man. Beast on the boards. He can get rebounds. He can block shots. He can, get out on the perimeter and use his length to create havoc. Brad, I don't usually say these things this early in the year, but this team is absolutely legit. Wouldn't be shocked at some point in the regular season that Kentucky don't end up number one. This is probably the best team they've had probably since the 15 team. Let's be honest. Maybe defensively.
let's go over. I want you to talk a little bit about this Purdue team and why they have been the consensus number one preseason team heading into the season. So give us a little bit of recap or rundown on just what all this Purdue team is returning.
Well, it all starts with Braden Smith, college basketball player of the year. He's probably in the running again. He's impressive. He only had 11 points, Brad. He did not shoot good from the field. I think he was 3 of 9. He still managed to get some assists, 4 rebounds. Trey Wren, he's another big piece for them in the paint. This Purdue team brought back, 2 or 3 guys off their team from last year, and that's pretty much why they're probably ranked number 1 coming in.
Lawyers there as well.
Fletcher Lawyers there. He's a really big piece for them.
Yep.
Matt Painter said something after the game that really kind of shocked me. He said, this game could have been a lot worse. Kentucky could have beat us a lot worse than what they did. And you know, you look at the tape, Kentucky just put it on. I mean, it wasn't even close, Brad. Like, now, to be fair, the first half they kind of stayed within 5-6 points, but
till about 5 or 6 to go in the first half. Yes,
and then Kentucky just kind of put it in overdrive and just kind of, you know, knock the hammer down. So, you know, they didn't get. I feel like they didn't get what they wanted with this exhibition, I think. But a lot of people's going to overreact. Me and you even said it. There's fans are going to overreact to an exhibition game, but you can't overreact to a game like this when you're trying to use different lineups, different sets, different, you know, they're trying to figure out their benches. They're trying to figure out their starters. It's not going to look perfect, but at the same time, it's something to help you that will fuel you going into the season and help you figure out where you need to be.
I mean, one thing I want to say to Matt Painter and the Purdue Boilermakers is, like, hats off to you guys for being the consensus number 1 team and coming into Rupp Arena in the exhibition season, coming on the road in a hostile environment like that. Like, I know it's exhibition and it doesn't count, but I still think not a lot of number 1, top 2, top 3 teams would go on the road in the exhibition season.
No, most teams would not even do this, Brad. Like we seen last night, Duke traveling to Tennessee. We've got, you know, Houston playing Mississippi State. Like, I love exhibition season. I think it helps with development, trying to figure out what your team is about, starting into next week, which is the season opening week. You know, Purdue, you know, their transition defense, I felt like, did not play good with Kentucky. You know, they tried to make an effort to improve rebound a little bit. But
I think Kentucky's speed got to them just a little bit.
They did, and their athleticism a little bit kind of disrupted them. What surprised me was Kentucky being on the boards 42-30. Like, that, to me, shows an extended effort that Kentucky might be a more physical team than they were a year ago, athletically. We looked at it last year, Brad, when they played Alabama, and Alabama was so much more athletic and more versatile than we was. And you look at this team, we look like that Alabama team from a year ago. More athletic, more.
I mean, we the other night against this Purdue team, but I think Purdue plays a little bit different style, you know, in the Big Ten, and play a little different than what we do. So we'll see. But overall, down the road, with some more, you know, elite athletic teams, Purdue is elite because of their experience.
Yeah, Braden Smith's what rocks the cradle for them. I mean, you know, Fletcher Lohr is going to have his games where he hits some shots. Trey Kaufman-Wren is going to be really good for them.
And then they got the big guy that was like 7'2" or 7, whatever he is, back from injury last year. He's just getting back to any kind of form to be on the floor. But, I mean, to get him back and to get him into some flow is probably going to be big for the Boilermakers.
It's going to be big for him. And the one thing that I took away from this game, Brad, and I've said it a couple of times, is the athleticism that Kentucky has brought to this roster. You know, the physicality with Mo Diabate, with Brandon Garrett. Brandon Garrison looks completely – he had a few plays where he screwed up, but, I mean, that's going to happen in an exhibition game. But to have him back, you know, bring in Mo Diabate, Jasper Johnson playing his game, which I think he can step in and kind of take over the role for Lowe until he comes back. And then
I'm going to go ahead and switch it here while you're talking, because I did want to talk a little bit about Jasper Johnson and some of the others in this game. So go ahead.
Yeah. Malachi Marino, I felt like he played really, really well. I mean, Denzel Aberdeen hit some shots. You know, you look at Cam Williams. Cam Williams was another one. I felt like he hit a couple threes. You know, Jaden Quantitz is going to be off the bench when he comes back. They're big, Brad. They're fast. They play a lot. They play better defense. Whew. This could be a special, special season for the Wildcats if everything comes to fruition and everything comes together.
So one name that you did not mention, he was actually in the starting lineup, Trent Noah. Was in the starting lineup, had 10 big points in the starting lineup. Matter of fact, even though Kentucky won 78-65, Kentucky only had 3 players in double figures.
Does that not tell you something?
They only had 3 players. Jasper Johnson led the team with 15, and then Trent Noah had 10, and
Jasper had 15.
Isn't that what I said, or what I say?
Yeah, I think you said 15. And then Malachi had 8. I think he had 4 rebounds. Malachi did.
Somebody else had 10 besides Trent. Who was it? Owe?
Maybe Owe, yeah.
Might have been Owe that had 10.
He didn't even play that many minutes. Like,
he only played 17 minutes. That's all he played.
You know what's really awesome about this game is Kentucky did this without 2 of their biggest stars.
And Owe being limited as well.
Yep.
Denzel Aberdeen actually played the most minutes. I think he played 29. Yeah, everybody else on the team played 23 or less.
He's going to play a lot this year, Brad.
Everybody else played 23 minutes or less.
Well, and I'll just say it, you know.
Madeline says it was Owe. I was thinking that's who it was that had 10.
Jasper Johnson does not look like a true freshman.
No, he's playing really well.
Johnson was tied for the leading scorer in the first
time. He played well in the blue-white game as well, man. He's played really well.
I'll tell you another thing. I wouldn't be shocked if Denzel Aberdeen is – he could probably slide into that point guard role when Jalen Lowe or Johnson gets in foul trouble. You know, you had the injuries last year, Brad. You lost Butler for many times of the year. They lost Herb Krissa for probably the whole year. They had to rely on Travis Perry and Colin Chandler. Well, that's another name we forgot, Colin Chandler. I felt like he had a nice dunk. So I think
he just kept floating. He went down the lane, jumped, and he just kept floating.
Yeah, and I think now you got Jalen Lowe out. Kentucky, you know, they need a backup point guard, and I think Johnson showed that. But Aberdeen, I feel like, is the next man to come up, and he's the starting guy. And I feel like he was comfortable with the ball in his hands. Like he didn't make a lot of mistakes. He hit some big shots. So Kentucky's got some options to go to with Lowe out.
I'll tell you somebody that I've been impressed with. I was at the blue-white game, watched this one on TV the other night, and I'll tell you somebody I've been impressed with so far is Malachi Marino.
Yeah, Malachi is
going to be a lot better than I think most people was giving him, like in the summer.
Yeah, Malachi is going to be a special player for the Cats. I noticed it when he played at Great Crossing. You know, he was dominating guys, and then I watched him in some of these, all-star games in the summer, and he was going toe-to-toe.
Even Matt Painter. Did you hear what Matt Painter said about him? Seeing him in the summer circuit, when he was recruiting him, he was talking about how much better he's gotten.
Yeah, he's a completely different player than he was 2 or 3 years ago.
And Matt Painter was really talking up Malachi Marino after this game on Friday night. So it was a big win. It was a big win for the team. It was a pretty good sized win for the fans and for the fan base. But I do want to slow the roll. It was October the 24th when this happened. I mean,
yeah, it's early.
It wasn't December the 24th and heading into SEC play. I'm sure that Purdue will get a lot better.
Yeah, a lot of these teams will, Brad. Like I said last night with Tennessee and Duke. Tennessee started really great. Then, Cam Boozer played really well, had 24 for Duke. I felt like Duke didn't play great early in the game, but they kind of picked it up late in the game and won the game. Like, you can't take nothing from these exhibition games. Like, Arkansas the other night, they whipped Cincinnati, but can Cincinnati improve from that? Yes. Like, it's just an exhibition game.
Right. And it's October. It's not even November yet. So, all right, we're going to move on. We're going to go to the next game, John. I know you were planning on writing a preview article at Stadium Rant, so pay attention to that later this week. This game is Thursday night for a preview here of the Georgetown game coming to Rupp as well. Mm-hmm. And John, what did you learn about this Georgetown team?
Ed Cooley's he's former coach at Providence. Kentucky actually played him in the first round. I think, 22, 23. I think that's when it was. I can't remember.
Yeah, it was Calipari's last win in the NCAA tournament.
They bring back Malik Mack. He's really good. He transferred from Harvard. He was a really good in his freshman year. He was the leading scorer for Georgetown. He's a really good point guard for them. They actually got Langston Love out of the portal from Baylor. He did not have a great year last year, Brad. The year before, he actually had a better year than he did. He went from 48% shooting to 33% shooting in 2 years. This is kind of like a bounce back spot for Langston Love. I feel like he's in a nice spot. They lost quite a bit. Baylor did. Rob Wright went to BYU, which was a big loss for them.
Yeah.
Then they added KJ Lewis, the forward from Arizona. He was really good for Arizona a year ago. He's a really good defender. They bring back Caleb Williams. He started, I think, 14 games as a freshman. He's really, really good. So Georgetown's got a decent team. I wouldn't say they're great, but I feel like they're going to be a lot better than they was a year ago.
I mean, this is Ed Cooley's second year?
It is. I feel like getting Mac his third year. I feel like getting Mac back was a big piece of that puzzle. They needed to get Malik Mack back. Do what now?
Did you say it's his third year?
It's his Georgetown? Third season, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. I was thinking second. All right. I mean,
it's his third
year. I think they're in a better spot than they were a few years ago. That's not saying a whole lot. I don't know a ton about this team, but I do not expect to see them at the top 3 or 4 positions in the Big East. Do you?
No, not really. No, I feel like they'll win more games, but they're still in kind of a, I say a rebuild mode type. He's still trying to get everything together and bring stability to that Georgetown program that's really went downhill since John Thompson.
Yeah, I mean, could they be in the middle of the pack in the Big East this year? Somewhere in that 6 to 8 range, or somewhere, maybe. Or some 6, 7, 8, somewhere around there in the Big East, maybe. But I don't think they'll be at the very bottom. But I also don't think they'll be in the top 3 or 4 either. So, what do you expect to see?
I don't.
What do you expect to see Thursday night? I mean, what do you think we're going to see? Some different lineups? Do you think we're going to beat this team by 20 plus? What do you think we'll see Thursday night?
I think we'll see about the same that we saw against Purdue. I think he'll mix it up. Pope's got an opportunity here to mix up his offenses and mix up his lineups. I think this is a great time to do that, and I feel like that's what he's probably going to do. He might not even, he started Noah last week. He might start Jasper this week. I mean, who knows what Pope will do? He's got a little bit of freedom to kind of mix and match some of these guys because they're really talented. They're deep, got a lot of depth. It's hard to predict what Pope will do, but I feel like this is a win. I mean, I wouldn't say it would be bad if we lost this game, but it's a game that you need to win and kind of finish the preseason strong in this exhibition and get ready for Nicholls State next week.
Yeah, and I do not expect Jalen Lowe to be playing in this game, nor Jaden Quaintance, either one. And a matter of fact, I was telling John earlier, Jaden Quaintance has not really even been ramping up to try to get into shape and everything. So I kind of don't expect Jaden Quaintance to play for another 2 or 3 weeks, at least. Like, I think they're going to give the kid at least 2 weeks of full go in practice to get in some kind of shape coming off of a knee injury. I just fully expect that to be the case. So I do not expect to see Jaden Quaintance for at least a couple of 2 or 3 weeks. I know the fan base is saying November the 11th for the Louisville game. That's 2 weeks away. I'm just not sure that I think that he will play in that game. He hasn't even been practicing, not full go, not contact at all. He's been doing a little bit of running and conditioning, I guess. So I guess there's an outside shot, but that's what I want to say when it comes to Jaden Quaintance. I expect fans to give him a little bit of grace here. It's only been about 9 months since he had the knee injury. So I expect to see him back. My guess is it will be in December. That's my guess off the top as we are beginning this season. That's my guess. All right, guys. This is from the University of Kentucky, and I've got a little video here to show. This is from the University of Kentucky. Hang on, guys. I'm trying to get John back in here if he can get back in. But anyways, this is from the University of Kentucky. This is a little tribute to the fans who always show up at Rupp Arena to support the Kentucky Wildcats.
Tonight from downtown Lexington, we raise the curtain on the college basketball season with a big one. Does that look like an exhibition crowd inside Rupp Arena tonight?
Birthday, Doug.
All right, guys, that was from the University of Kentucky. Just a little tribute to the fans who always show up and that was there to support Kentucky on last Friday night on the win over Purdue. All right, Hammonds must be having a video problem, so maybe he'll get it figured out. I'm not real sure, but I am going to move from basketball to football. So there is quite a bit to get to with the football team. I just changed the background so that we can get to some football here. And I was there Saturday night as media and was a part of this. And the first thing I want to say, guys, is, some early, really bad blunders, spelled doom for Kentucky versus Tennessee at home. They got down early, 14-0, with some turnovers. And after that, I mean, they fought. They fought in the first half, cut it back to 7, 28-21 with 1 minute and 37 seconds to go in the first half, and looked like, maybe they could do something, get back in the game after these early blunders. And Tennessee goes down on a 10-play drive in 92 seconds. 10 plays in 92 seconds. That's only an average of 9 seconds a play, by the way. And score a touchdown. Kind of broke their backs, was still down 14, 35-21 at halftime. And John, after that, I mean, what's your opinion on what we actually saw on the field on Saturday night?
We saw some good things, especially with Cutter Boley. I feel like he made some progressions. He broke a SEC. Was it an SEC record? I think passing Jerry Lorenzen and was it Andre Woodson? You know more about this, Brad. You wrote the article. I can't remember. It was a record that he broke.
We did. I got him on another topic, but and I'll get to that. What Boley did on Saturday night, but I mean, in the game itself, I mean, I thought they fought really hard after the early blunders to try to get back into the game. They were down 28-7. They were down 21 points. They scored. They had I thought the best drive of the season in the second quarter. It was a 9-minute drive, a 16-play drive, all the way down the field, 96 yards, to cut the score to 28-21 with 1 minute and 37 to go. And again, Boley hits some really good pass plays in this drive, and I thought they were in the game. And then, when you let them score there, you don't score after halftime when you get the ball first. And then they come out and score, and you've cut a 28-21 game and have a shot. And then early in the third, it's 42-21, just like that.
Yeah, the defense is having some issues right now, especially in the secondary, the cornerbacks. If I remember, Nichols.
They picked on Nichols all night long, to be honest with you.
And the thing is there's a lot of injuries in that back end. Seth McGowan didn't play at running back. Kentucky's beat up right now. Let's just be honest. They're beat up, especially in the terms of football, but they're really beat up on the injury list. Stoops mentioned a little bit of that tonight on the call-in show, that they're really struggling. DJ Waller's not played since week 1. Nichols is having a setback. Like, there's just a lot of issues going right now on the defensive side of the ball.
There he is, and they were coming off of a good showing against Texas, but I'm going to be honest with you, John. Brad White's scheme planning does not play well against Heupel's spread. It just don't.
It doesn't. I agree with you.
They struggle against Josh Heupel's spread offense. They have the last few years. And this one's a tough one. I was there. I think everybody knows how I feel about Tennessee that watches our show. So, I mean, this was a tough one. John was like, I'm turning it off. And I told John I was sitting up there in the media, room and everything, the press box. And I said, I ain't got that option, man. I can't just turn it off.
See, here's the thing, Brad. There's so many people frustrated. There's so many people calling for Mark Stoops' job. There's a lot of noise out there. Even you and me, we've been frustrated, even as media guys. There's not much we can do at this point, until the administration does something. That's out of our hands at this point with all this. There's so much happening. I don't know. I mean, you've heard this and that going on X. This kind of thing's happening. These things are popping up. Until we get to the end of the year, or maybe even this Auburn game, Brad said it best. We're not really going to know what's going to happen.
No, and I mean, before I do have coaching situation down here, a couple of topics, but before we get to that, Jared was talking about, Tennessee's defense. Jared Wells is with us. He was talking about Tennessee's defense is not great. I get that, but Texas defense is pretty darn good.
Yeah.
And Boley set a record against Texas for completion percentage, all right, as a freshman. And then on Saturday, he set a record in passing touchdowns. He threw 5. The record was 3 by 2 guys that you probably remember, Morgan Newton and a guy named Jared Lorenzen.
I thought it was Woodson, but it was Morgan.
No, it was Morgan Newton and Jared Lorenzen who held the freshman record, and they only passed for 3, and that was the record. Boley hit 5 touchdowns in this game, and he's been throwing like over 74% of his passes the last 2 weeks against Texas and Tennessee. I mean, I really feel like Boley, matter of fact, go check out my article. I just wrote an article that come out this afternoon about Boley's record-setting performance and the way he's playing and the promise that he is showing.
I felt like it was different than Texas and Tennessee. Kentucky, I felt like was more methodical against Texas. Now, in the Tennessee game, he created some explosive plays.
They did. They threw the ball down the field.
They did. It's been 3 years, Brad, since Kentucky's had 2 explosive passing touchdowns beyond 56 yards.
Yeah,
that's hard to believe.
Yeah, like they had a 56-yarder. Kendrick Law had a 71-yarder that he made one juke and took it to the house. I mean, Kendrick Law in the second half had a really nice reception. J.J. Hester transferred in there. J.J. Hester had 2 touchdowns, 2 nice touchdowns in this game, wide receivers. And then, John, I've got to bring up DJ Miller, the freshman.
Yeah,
5 receptions, 120 yards, 2 TDs. I mean, it was really nice to see these wide receivers step up.
Yeah, DJ is one of those, even like Boley. I felt like Kendrick Law played pretty good. Hester played great. Now, I'll be honest with you, Brad. There was a couple plays in that first half where it doomed Kentucky. You had the fumble, you had the pick six. And I'm not even going to get started on the fumble. I don't know what the world that was. I mean, that was
like, you remember when you was a kid and you used to get up on Saturday morning to watch the Looney Tunes? That's what it was like.
Well, and I thought it was funny because Drew Franklin mentioned it. Well,
I was pretty sure that the Roadrunner and Coyote was out there on the field somewhere.
Well, here's the thing: is Drew Franklin put a post up on the X? I think it was of the Benny Hill music.
Yeah,
and I'm like, it just felt like it just summed up the last 20 years. And
Tanner, we're going to get to that on our next topic about the coaching situation.
But that fumble, the pick six, then you had the touchdown before half. That kind of just doomed everything. And then Tennessee came out in the second half and just exploded. Listen, Brad, Tennessee could have put 70 points on the board if they wanted to. Let's just be honest. But
I mean, they were in scoring distance at the end, and
they nailed the game. They nailed the game.
Yeah, right. I mean, they definitely could have scored again, which the score was 56-34. But John, this is the first time since 2023 that the offense has scored more than 2 offensive touchdowns. 2. Did you hear me? 2.
That's hard to believe, Brad.
2. Not 4. 2 offensive touchdowns.
That's just hard to believe.
So Bush Hamden had been here for 12 games last year, and this was his 7th game here. 19 games, and out of the 19 games, 13 of them were against Power 4 conference. He's never scored more than 2 offensive touchdowns.
It's hard to believe, Brad. I mean, in the mess that the offense has been in this year. And I'll say this, they're going up against Auburn this week, which is probably another defense like Texas on the road at Jordan-Hare. It's going to be a night game. It's going to be a tough game. How they respond to that, I don't know. Their defense is kind of like Texas. They like to pressure the quarterback. They like to get in your face. They're probably in the top and stopping the run. I'll say this: if McGowan's not playing Saturday, it's going to be very, very tough to win this football game.
All right. Before we move on to from the Tennessee game, I've got a couple of quick clips here of Cutter Boley talking in the press conference after the game. So here's a couple of quick clips.
There last week, getting some reps, getting some catches, and this week he's starting to play really free, and I'm super proud of that guy.
How much encouragement are you drawing? You're a redshirt freshman. Patterson's a redshirt freshman. The Millers are a true freshman. How much encouragement is that?
Yeah, no, there's a lot. We got a lot of good young talent on this team, all over the place, defense, offense, everything. But no, I think these guys are really encouraged, especially the young guys.
And then here is the second one.
Yeah, everything's getting more comfortable with experience, like every game. Just getting better, but it's a lot of Coach Hamden, the guys in the locker room, the receivers, the running backs, O-line, everybody kind of buying into what we want to be offensively and what our identity is. But yeah, we just got to put it all together.
What kind of different?
Just a couple of quick clips there of Cutter Boley talking about how he's getting more comfortable in the offense and talking about DJ Miller and some of the young kids fresh stepping up.
I'll talk about the Auburn game here in a minute, Jared, when we get ready to preview the Auburn game at the end of this. I'll give a little bit of my thoughts on that.
Yeah, so the next topic is the coaching situation. I'm just going to go ahead and get it out of the way, John. We got to hit on this. I mean, Stoops has lost 10 straight home SEC or 10 straight SEC games. And it's not good. I mean, instead of trying to find a way to win, it sometimes feels like we're trying to find a way to lose. There is a ton of buzz going around about a possible coaching change and a hot seat here, John. So we're not going to get into speculation here at College Sportscast as far as when all this other stuff. But here's what I do know. There is a lot of pressure. You do have to win in this game. And, John, my question to you is this. If there is a coaching change with the cycle that is going on, I mean, yesterday LSU fired Brian Kelly. There is top programs all over the country that is going to be looking for coaches. Who do you think realistically that Kentucky could even try to get?
You like to hit me with the hard stuff, don't you?
Like, how far down the list will Kentucky have to go? Because everybody talks about having a short list for a coach. I think Kentucky might need to put together a long list.
I'll be honest with you, Brad. There's probably 6 names that I would go after. The first one would be Will Stein.
I like that one.
The second one would probably be Golish from South Florida.
I just don't think he'll be available. Every big team is going to go after him.
Lashley would be another one. That'd be my third one. John Sumrall would be mine, but, he's getting thrown around with LSU and these others. Jared Parker would be another one at Troy. He's a cheap option. I didn't even know one of them said Jared Parker, but Jared Parker at Troy would be one. I'll be honest with you. There's 2, maybe 3 that has been in the coaching ranks that I would call, and I might get thrown into the wild bushes here, but yeah, Ryan Silverfield would be another one. But I'd call Jimbo Fisher. I'd make him say no.
I'd call Jim. Actually, right now, Brian Kelly is on my list. I would call Brian Kelly. He's probably going to tell us no and laugh and get a heck of a lot better job. But he's on my list. I would definitely give him a call. Jimbo Fisher, I would give a call. I'll tell you somebody else that I have not heard that I would call. Okay? Sonny Dykes at TCU. I'm telling you, he's somebody that I would give a call. I actually kind of like him better than I do Rhett Lashley. We hear Rhett Lashley a lot, but Lashley's kind of struggling right now. They just scored 12 points against Wake Forest in the ACC and got beat.
I'll say this, you look around the whole landscape of college football. There's Penn State. There's you even look out west. There's Oregon State's open. Oklahoma State.
Kenny Dillingham would be a heck of a hire, but I don't think we can get him.
Somebody put Kentucky as the 6th most attractive job in college football on the X. Compared to Arkansas and some of the ones that's like Oklahoma State, I really feel like it's a better job because it's in the SEC.
Yeah, but that also makes it a much harder job.
It is. I agree with you. But at the same time,
you can go to Oklahoma State and probably find a lot more success.
You probably could. But if you have the resources at SEC, okay, let me give you this example, Brett. Look at Vanderbilt right now. They probably got less NIL. I looked on a paper today that they have less NIL money than us, and yet look what they're doing. They're 7-1 and playing for a college football playoff.
I mean, 4 years ago, John, last week, Kentucky was number 11 in the country and was 6-0. 4 years ago, 6-1.
Do you realize during that time the SEC was down?
I'm just telling you, and all these fans, we're not that far removed that Kentucky was doing the same thing.
They were, but counterpoint that argument that the SEC was down. Missouri was down. Florida was down. Tennessee was off.
Florida's still down. Florida's still down.
Yeah, well, they've won some decent games the last couple of years, but I feel like they're still in that. Missouri was down. Vanderbilt was down at the time.
South Carolina's still pretty much in the same spot. They ain't,
last year they had a pretty decent end of the year.
I mean,
but
1 out of 4 years or something, they pretty much are in the same spot. If you ask me,
that's what I'm saying, Jared.
Oklahoma's in here, but they're not setting the woods on fire, in my opinion. So apparently I lost John again. Let me look here at some of these. Dan Mullen would be a great one, Jared. I've been saying Dan Mullen for a long time. I would definitely give Dan Mullen a call. Here's my deal on the coaching situation, okay? And I'm going to wrap this up by saying this. Sonny did coach at UK, Tanner. He was on staff under Hal Mumme. He started his coaching career here at Kentucky, Sonny Dykes did. He was a grad assistant under Hal Mumme and Mike Leach here at Kentucky. He actually started his coaching career right here in Lexington. That is one reason why I would give Sonny Dykes a call. But I'm gonna end this coaching stuff by saying this. Here's the deal, in my opinion. Like, you got Cutter Boley, you've got DJ Miller, you've got Quisenberry, you've got you've got Jason Patterson, who's a redshirt freshman, you got Willie Rodriguez, who's a redshirt freshman, I believe. You've got a good young core of offensive talent on this team. In my humble opinion, to keep all these guys here and to have a good core to build around, you have to go out and get an offensive guy that can put a lot of points on the board.
That's exactly what I was going to say. An offensive-minded coach, you got to have a guy that –
if you want Cutter Boley to stay in Lexington, you absolutely have to go out and get an offensive guy that knows how to throw the ball around and put points on the board.
Let me say this, and we'll move on, Brad. I know everybody's seen it. Matt Jones put out today that there's a 90% chance that there'll be a change at the end of the year, right, Brad? That's what
I love
he put out today.
It'd be fantastic.
So there's a lot of noise with that. With Matt Jones, I don't know some others that have made some predictions. I don't know. We won't know until probably at the end of the Auburn game, maybe even Florida. But I'm going to say this to kind of add to what Brad was saying. You got to score at least 30 points, 28, something of that nature. If you can figure out the offensive side of the ball, you can worry about the defense later.
They can always hire a good defensive coordinator.
Yes,
I'm telling you.
You got to put the ball in the end zone.
You can't always score a bunch of points without a great offensive mind.
Here's the thing, Tanner, I'll say about Sumrall. Sumrall is a defensive coach.
Yep.
But to be fair, though, his Tulane team has some good offenses. They've had some good offenses.
They have some decent offenses in the AAC.
It matters, though, Brad, if you got a quarterback, which I think Kentucky has found one in Cutter Boley.
It's not – his offenses don't put 34 points on the board.
No, but they at least put 20, 24 on the board. They at least get to that.
If you're averaging 24 points a game in the AAC, what do you think you're going to do when you get to the SEC?
Well, you got to have better players, too, in the SEC. Got to have little –
Listen, I'm telling you, I've been around this team. I've been around the players. There is a good young core of talent on this team. That's part of the reason why this team is struggling is because they're playing a lot of young talent.
That's what I said, Greg. Greg said, I just want someone that will build the program with high energy and won't be scared to change their coaching if their stuff isn't working. I've said that.
All that's good points. I just wanted to make a point tonight when we were talking about this that I believe it has to be an offensive guy that can put points on the board. A beautiful offensive mind that can just put these SEC teams on their heels. That's what I think Kentucky's got to have. Plain and simple.
24,
if you ask me.
I agree, Jonathan. 24 is awful, but I don't think Kentucky's even scored 24 this year.
No, it's not. I mean, besides this last game.
That would be a win for us.
Yeah, but I'm saying
I
don't
mean that negatively. I'm just saying that would be a win for Kentucky. And,
I'm just saying 24 points in the AAC is not going to translate to the SEC. That's what I'm saying.
They scored 34. Yeah, Kentucky did this weekend.
Yeah, this past week. Yeah. All right,
Which
John.
To be fair,
now we're
Tennessee's defense isn't great, but
now we're going to get to the Auburn game this Saturday. Do just a little bit of a preview here of the Auburn game, and let you talk on it. I mean, Auburn, Hugh Freeze is in trouble too, to be honest with you.
Yeah, there's a lot of noise down there. You know, I feel like this is the battle of the hot seat coaches. If you really want to know the truth about it, you know, he ended up winning a big game, I think, this weekend, beating Arkansas. That was a really big game.
Come from behind to do it.
Well, and last year, you look, you know, Kentucky was up 10-0, and they got outscored 24-0. They literally ran the ball down our throat last year.
They did. They did. Absolutely did. If we beat them Saturday,
this is a tough game. Well, either or, I think. But just to kind of back up on this, you know, Auburn's struggling, Kentucky's struggling right now. Now, I will say Auburn's defense is pretty good, Brad. They're ranked pretty high in the top 10, top 20. It's going to be another tough environment to play in. I tell you what's going to be especially tough, and I've been kind of keeping up with is our secondary is beat up, literally beat up.
And they have some really
good. It's not great offensively.
They got some good wide receivers.
And they got some good wide receivers, and Cam Coleman being one of them. So I don't think we have much of a chance Saturday, Brad. I'll be honest with you, especially at night in Jordan Hare, because a lot of crazy stuff happens up at night down there. I feel like we get behind in this game like we did Tennessee. I think it's not that. I'll be honest. I think the Auburn John was better than Kentucky, Kevin. Just for the mere fact it's a football school. And there's a lot of money running around in Auburn. So
funneled into Auburn, tons of it. To be honest with you,
there's a lot more. Yeah, but I'll say this about this game, just to finish it up. I just don't see I don't know what Hugh Freeze is going to do about the quarterback situation. I know that Jackson Arnold got benched Saturday against Arkansas. Ashton Daniels is in competition with Jackson Arnold to, possibly play this weekend. So, we're going to have to move the football against this Auburn defense. Their defense is pretty good. And if our defense no stops, I just don't see a way we win this game.
I agree. Listen, we got 2 more shows this week to talk about the actual game. I just wanted to give just a little bit of quick preview here for Wildcat Weekly. But we are going to move on to Kentucky women's basketball. John, tomorrow is a preseason media opportunity. Coach Brooks is going to have a press conference tomorrow, kind of a last preseason press conference tomorrow. I will be attending as long as I can get there tomorrow. My plan is to attend, and then I will get a chance at this media opportunity to have about 30 minutes to go around and talk to each player. And then we're going to get 30 minutes the media is going to get 30 minutes to sit and watch practice tomorrow for the Kentucky women's team.
It's pretty awesome, Brad. I like what you're doing with the women. Coach Brooks has got a really good team coming in. He brings in Tony Morgan from Georgia Tech. There's a lot of good pieces on this team. I really think they'll be better than what they was ranked. I think they ranked 24th in the country.
Yeah.
I think there's a better team out there than 24th ranked in the country. But you gotta win the games to prove what you belong. And I think they got a chip on their shoulder, and I think they'll be all right once the season starts.
So since that AP poll come out, the coaches poll, the USA coaches poll come out, and Kentucky was ranked 20th in that poll. So it was a little. So they were a little bit higher. They're ranked 20th in the coaches poll, 24th in the AP poll, and then the Athletic. I noticed today put out a poll, and Kentucky was actually 16th on the women's side in the Athletic poll that I seen, and I think that was earlier
Kentucky
today.
I think, yeah.
Yeah, I think that was earlier today. I think they were ranked 16th in the Athletic poll. The media, the Athletic. This Kentucky team is expected to be a really good team and challenge for at least a top 4 spot in the SEC tournament. And most of the time, the top 4 spots. I am. Why do I do this at the end of every show? It seems like.
Yeah, you're.
Huh. I don't understand why it seems to do that at the end of every show. Makes no sense. All right, I'm going to try to play a video. I've got one more video of the girls. This is at practice. 7 days. They're playing a game.
Till it's bright out. Oh, just another lonely night. Are you willing to sacrifice your life?
By the way, that was freshman Caitlin Carroll splashing the 3 in your face at the end of it.
She's gonna be a fun team, Brad.
She's a good shooter, and it is going to be a fun team. I can't wait to get things going. Next Monday, the girls get going for real. But I do have one quick topic on the girls that I want to get to. There's rumors, John, of a secret scrimmage that is going to happen in the next few days. I don't know who it is. I don't know who it is. They did have a secret scrimmage last year against Ohio State. And there's rumors that they're going to have another secret scrimmage in the next day or two.
Well, I think it'll be good for them. It's sort of like with the men, get an opportunity to kind of figure out where you are as a team. I think they play Moorhead starting out their first game.
They do.
Which will be, like 2 Kentucky schools going at it, in-state schools. So the girls' team's got a lot of talent on this team. Like I told you, with Tony Morgan, Clara Strack, this team could be really special by the season's over.
I can't wait to get things going 1 week from tonight. Matter of fact, next Monday night, Wildcat Weekly will probably be a game day experience after the game. If John wants to join me live, we will do, and I will actually be there and do a short game day experience after the game next Monday night and preview Tuesday night's matchup for the men. So that's probably what we're going to do next week. There is one more quick topic that I want to get to, John. The Kentucky volleyball team had 2 road wins this week, really nice road wins this week, and they have a potential monster matchup this Sunday in undefeated Texas in Austin.
Yeah, it's exciting times right now. They beat Alabama. They swept Alabama actually 3-0.
They did.
It was their 13th consecutive victory. They went to 16-2. This is a crazy stat that I'm going to throw at you. Was September 10th against Pittsburgh.
Yep. John,
that's
they're 20. They've won 27 of their last 32 sets.
And there's nobody in the country playing better than Cassie O'Brien. Cassie O'Brien is playing at an elite level right now. Brooklyn DeLay's playing good. Eva Hudson's playing good. This whole team is just really, really good. And, if you get a chance, get out there and go and watch the girls play. They play Texas this Sunday. So let's get after it and let's watch the volleyball.
So they play on Friday night in Memorial Coliseum. They play Vanderbilt, who is back playing volleyball for the first time in like 40, 50 years. It's a game they should dominate, should win. It'd be a fun night to go to Memorial and see these volleyball girls. This game will set up the game before Texas on Sunday. Now, Texas plays Texas A&M, who is a top 10 team, before we meet. They are still undefeated right now, number 2 in the country. Kentucky's number 3, 16-2. And the winner of this likely has the upper hand in the SEC championship.
They do. And another thing I kind of wanted to add to it was they're racking up a lot of accolades during the week. Cassie O'Brien was named SEC Conference Overall Player of the Week.
Freshman.
SEC Setter of the Week.
Yep.
And the outside hitter, Brooklyn DeLay, was named SEC Offensive Player of the Week. O'Brien has some record books. She had a 50 assist performance in a 3-set match at Alabama, breaking the school record for most assists by a single player in a 3-set match. And the last time somebody did that with those numbers was Madison Lilly in 2018. That's pretty impressive what the volleyball team has been doing.
It is. Go out and support them. They are number 3 in the country, have a legit shot at a national title. This is a rematch. The last time these two teams played, talking about Texas and Kentucky, was the 2020 national title game, and Kentucky got the best of them and won the national title for Coach Skinner. That was the last time these two teams played. This is an SEC game. This is for them. First time they've matched up in the SEC.
And by the way, I just got vetted for my Georgetown article. It will be out tomorrow morning at 9:00 a.m. So
check out the preview. I've got a Cutter Boley article out. I've also got a women's basketball article on Kenny Brooks recruiting. Go check out those. There's a few others to check out. John has a new college basketball overall title contenders article out as well. So go to Stadium Rant, look up Brad Harvey and John Hammonds, or just go to the college sports page, and you can find out.
I'll be honest with you. Our writing is going to start to ramp up again because we, during basketball season, it gets a little hectic, don't it, Brett?
It does. We're covered right now. I'm trying to cover 4 sports. I got football. Now we got men's basketball, women's basketball, and volleyball.
And I usually try to let Brad kind of curve to the women's side of the basketball, and I try to stay on the men's because trying to cover both at the same time is just a hectic little thing. It's not easy. I'll just leave it at that. It's not easy.
It is not. All right, top of the screen, left-hand corner is our QR code for home field. Hit them up for some really cool Kentucky apparel, vintage stuff. You will not want to miss out. They will have some holiday stuff going on and sales. Hit them up. Use that QR code at the top of the screen. Check out the Real Fresh channel and Stadium Rant on YouTube as well. But Stadium Rant, go and check out our articles. Hit them up, share, like. We are on Facebook and X, so you can like, share, hit them up anytime you want. We would greatly appreciate that. And guys, we will see you tomorrow night. We will be doing our Big Fuss show tomorrow night.
Man, is there a lot to talk about?
We do. We have a lot to get to tomorrow night on the Big Fuss show with Brian Kelly and heck, John, today I heard that Marcus Freeman has already turned down Penn State and Florida.
It's going to be a wild cycle, Brad.
Marcus Freeman, the Notre Dame coach, I heard has already said no thank you to Penn State and Florida.
John, we talked about that earlier. He said, how does the Kentucky girls team look? They're just getting into shape. They're getting to where they need to be. The men, I think, have done a little bit more to this point than the women have, but they're all the same. We ought to go out there and support them. Get out to Memorial and support these girls, and get out to Rupp Arena because I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to say this as we get off. This has a chance, Brad, to be a special year on the men's side. A really, I'm talking national title hopes.
Listen, I think this girls team can challenge for the top 3-4 spots in the SEC as well.
I do as well. They'll be right there as well. So get out there and support them in Lexington. Another basketball season.
Win a national title. So it's a fun time to be covering sports for Kentucky. I know what's going on with football, but listen, guys, I've been a fan. I'm 51 years old. Okay. So I've been a fan of Kentucky football for a long time. I'm going to leave you with a stat. Okay. Tonight, just a simple reminder. Okay. Kentucky has been a part of the SEC since 1933. 1933. Okay. Kentucky has only won 5 SEC games in a single year 6 times ever in the history of Kentucky football entirety. Okay. They've only won 6 SEC games once. It's happened one time in the entire existence since 1933. I bring this up because we're fixing to go to 9 SEC games in the future. If we're going to get to 10 wins, there's no other way around it. You have to win at least, 7 SEC games?
Yeah, and then you got to maybe split the bad games like the
Okay,
Ohio.
wait a second. Kentucky has never, they've only won 6 one time in nearly 90-some years. Oh, by the way, Coach Mark Stoops has 2 of those 6 5-win SEC seasons. Just so y'all remember. Just want to throw that in there. I'll leave you with that. I think that's 2 really good points to leave you with here tonight. This has been College Sportscast Wildcat Weekly. We do these shows on Monday nights. We will see you tomorrow night for the Big Fuss Show, and we have a lot to get to tomorrow night. Y'all have a good night, and we will see you tomorrow.
Have a good one.